Well, I had a good blackberry harvest this year, so I'm going to make some blackberry jelly. Come along with me to the kitchen and I'll show you how. Alright, here are my blackberries. I have 4 cups of blackberries and I added a few more in there. You know, it's kind of hard to measure these bulk items. Beautiful blackberries. They've been frozen and, well, they're ready to go. I've put 4 cups in here, 4 cups of water. What we're going to do is make the juice. We want juice. We don't want jam with all the seeds and pulp. We want a clear jelly. So start off with 4 cups of water and 4 cups of blackberries. We're going to boil those down for about 20 minutes. Get your jars, your lids, and your tools sterilized. Boil them for a little while in your canner. We're going to water bath can. I'm using half-pint jars. I've got a dozen of them in there. I don't think I'll use them all, but I want to get them nice and sterile. Including my funnel and my lid magnet. Over here we've got our blackberries on the fire now, about a medium heat to medium high. I'm just going to boil those, and then with a potato masher we're going to mash them up. Alright, you can see here I've got my blackberries nice and crushed up with a potato masher here. I'm just going to let this come up to heat, get to a little bit of a boil, and then I'm going to simmer it. Like I said, about 20 minutes or so. What we're trying to do is just extract the juice out of this, and then we're going to strain it through some cheesecloth and have a nice clear juice. So this is kind of therapeutic here. It smells delicious. Again, there are 4 cups of blackberries and I added maybe a half cup more just because I like a really potent juice. In the end, we want to be able to have about 4 cups of juice. Most recipes call for 1 package of Sure Gel. So that's what we're going to use with our 4 cups of juice and our 4 cups of water. So keep my cup measure ready. We want to have a lot of sugar. This is 4.5 cups of sugar. So I've already measured that out. Be pretty precise with your sugar measurement. 4 1/2 cups. Okay, I've got my jars out of the boiling water. They are now sterilized and sitting there waiting. I have my funnel also sterilized, ready to load these jars up. So we won't fill all these jars, but it's nice to have them available. I've got my lid magnet sterilized as well, so I can reach in and pick up my lids, just like so. So you want to keep these lids in here until you're ready to use them. And then we'll just reuse this water to do our canning bath. So it's nice and hot, won't take long to heat up. Here's our simmering berries, looking good in there. Alright, let me show you my tool here. This is a old school food mill type thing, and especially good for making tomato soup. You see those holes in there, you just put this in here, put your vegetable matter in there, and you use this, and you can squeeze out all the juice. Well, we're not going to use that today. It's just a convenient shape for me to drape some cheesecloth in. So we're going to drape our cheesecloth in here, and our cheesecloth will be our strainer. We're going to put our mashed blackberries in here and just let them naturally drain into a pot that's down beneath. If you get this on you, obviously, it will stain. We're going to let that just sit there and drain naturally. What we want is very clear juice. We don't want any pulp, and I can see it's draining down there. Nice. We're going to need about 4 cups, 3.75 if you're being really accurate. I've seen folks on YouTube just use 4 cups, so that's what we're going to go with, 4 cups. If you don't have a full 4 cups, you can use up to a half a cup of water to kind of bring it up to 4 cups. Okay, all that pulp that I had reduced down to exactly, well, just under 4 cups. You can see there, 4 cups. So this is what I need, and I'm going to put it in my pot here, and we're going to bring it to a boil, and we're going to stir constantly. All right, into our juice, we're going to put our pectin. I'm going to use the entire package. This is a dry pectin. Put that in there, bring it to a boil, stir constantly. As soon as we hit a rolling boil, a good rolling boil, we're going to add our sugar. And We're on now. We got to move relatively quickly once we get the sugar in here. Once we dissolve the sugar, we want to boil, a rolling boil for 1 full minute. And once that 1 full minute is up, that's when we need to move quickly to get our jelly into the jars. It'll start setting up pretty quickly. One thing I might add, they say you can put a teaspoon or a pat of butter into your mixture and that will help keep the foam down. So we're just going to put a little bit of Kerrygold in there and bring this to a boil. I've moved to my back burner here because I've got the larger flame back here so we can come up to a boil quicker. Unfortunately, you can't see what's going on inside there, but I think you get the idea. Alright, I don't know if you can see it in there, but we're at a rolling boil. When I stir, I'm still getting bubbles. Now it's time for sugar. Now I've got to keep this going. Keep it stirred. And bring it back to a rolling boil again until the sugar is dissolved. Once we bring it back to a rolling boil, we do 1 minute. Alright, we're approaching a rolling boil now. The bubbles are in even when I stir, so we're going to start our timer now. And we're going to give this 1 minute. Once 1 minute is done, we'll pull it off the heat and jar this up. And we will have our jelly. There we go. We're going to take it off the heat. This is a messy process, so have a towel or something ready to catch the drips. Again, we're going for maybe a 1/4 inch to 1/8 of an inch headspace. I don't really think it matters that much. We're going to water bath can these for 10 minutes. Some people say 5 minutes is sufficient. Alright, I think we'll get 2 more, maybe 1 more. Yeah, I think we'll get 1 more. I don't think there's enough for another jar. All right, let's get our jars wiped down. Just wipe that rim down. It's got to be clean, or the gasket material on your lid will not seal up properly. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. These are kind of hot and they're a little difficult to hold. All you really need is just that rim to be clean. Don't have to worry about all this down here so much if you don't want to. Get that rim clean. Now we don't have to work as swiftly. Now that the jelly is in the jar, we don't have to move as quickly. Trying to keep everything sterile and clean here where it matters. We want to screw down the rings finger tight. You don't have to crank these on there. The seal will be made by the pressure differential when we can them. So just finger tight. Oh, there we go, dropping things. You're going to have to add some more water to this. You want your water in a water bath to be about 1 inch taller, at least 1 inch over your jars. So we'll have to top this off. Bring it to a boil. And once it starts boiling, that's when you start your timer. And we're going to process these for 10 minutes. You can do this in any old pot. This happens to be a pressure canner, but I'm not going to use the pressure function. Obviously, we don't need that. We just need boiling water bath. Canning your food is not a mystery. It's actually quite easy. Some people are afraid they're going to ruin their food or it's going to go bad and they're going to get sick. But really, it's not that hard. We have a water bath going here. We're waiting for it to come to a rolling boil. And at that point, we will put 10 minutes on our clock. We're going to let these cool and set for, well, until they're cool. You can store these for virtually forever. But these aren't going to last very long. I can guarantee you that. What you want to do once they're cool is check the top here. Though they're kind of up right now, as they cool down, these tops will sink down and tighten up. You want to make sure that those lids are nice and tight. Okay, it's the next day. Look what I've got. I've already busted into it. Take a look at this jelly. You can see that in there. Nice and set. It's got that beautiful red color. This is some good stuff right here. Very sweet. So I'm going to try it on a biscuit. I mean, what better way to eat jelly than on a buttered hot biscuit? All right, here we go. Jelly should be clear, unlike a jam. A jam's got the fruit bits in it, but a jelly is nice and clear. And because we strained this through the cheesecloth and took out just the juice, and we didn't squeeze that bag, our jelly is nice and clear. Just what I want. All right, so we've got jelly, we've got some butter on a biscuit. Let's give it a try. Cheers. Oh wow, that's good. You get that real strong blackberry flavor. It's sweet, and that sweetness, if you just take it alone, and if you sample this right out of the jar, just like so, it's very sweet. After all, we put 4.5 cups of sugar into 4 cups of juice, so it's a more than a half and half ratio. Very, very sweet. Very flavorful. There's a kind of a background. I'm trying to place it. The blackberries have a kind of a real honey-like aftertaste. That real sense of honey in your nasal cavity comes through. It's a very delicious berry, and I think this is the best way to eat them without the seeds. But by itself, it's super sweet, a little too sweet. But put on a biscuit where it belongs, along with that butter and some of the salt that's in the bread, it balances out really nice, and it's a perfect jelly. Wow, this is really good. Okay, well that was really good. Most of the videos I've seen on how to make jellies on YouTube don't show you the end result. I'm here to say this worked well. The recipe has been proven by me, and if you want to make this, I think it's an easy way to make use of your berries. Blackberries, they're very delicious, they're highly prolific, and this was the first year I got a blackberry harvest, and I had enough on my 2-year-old plants to make a batch of jelly. And probably, if I would water them and care for them a little bit more, they're kind of off on their own, doing their own thing. I probably could have eked out a little bit more of a harvest and had enough for 2 batches. I had about 8 cups, and I used 4.5 cups of those berries, and well, it came out really nice. So yeah, good stuff. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please leave us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to learn about gardening and growing your own fruit, your own vegetables in a small backyard context, please subscribe to our channel and like our videos and share them around. Hey, thanks so much for joining me in the kitchen today. Y'all have happy gardening and happy cooking. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.